Riverdance. So we're here at St. Veronicas Church. Well, it was St. Veronicas Church. Now it's decommissioned. About 3 years ago, they closed it down for lack of participation. Now the church is looking to sell it somewhere over $17 million. But years ago in the village, this is an Irish church. It's like if you go down south, right, you have black churches, you have white churches. But back then, it wasn't black and white. It was Irish and Italian. So St. Veronica's, Irish. St. Bernard's on 14th Street, Irish. Our Lady of Pompeii on Bleecker Street, Italian. St. Joseph's on 6th Avenue, Italian. And the other one, St. Anthony's on Sullivan Street, Houston Street, that's an Italian parish. So there was very little mixing back then. Now in the basement, there's dance studios, like kids do dancing and acting. But it's a beautiful church. They used it for a while after they decommissioned it. They had concerts. That was pretty cool. Then that went. Now, across the street here, you can turn around here. I think it's one of the beautiful buildings in the neighborhood. This is the Federal Archives building. It was built in 1899 by the federal government to hold and store archives. Also, is a customs house to raise customs. In 1988, they converted this magnificent building into an apartment building. The architecture is Romanesque revival. You see the beautiful arches. I mean, this is the most solid building you ever want to be in. It takes up one whole city block. And coincidentally, I used to play poker here on Monday nights. The guy who I play poker with, his apartment, when he moved out, eventually, Monica Lewinsky moved to his apartment. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right. It's letter reading time. I got a letter today. It's an interesting one. Sunglasses. Reading list. All right. Dear Mr. Stein, I've been performing stand-up comedy for the past 7 years. Most of the money I make is from performing on the road. I can't imagine how much time, you can't imagine how much time I spent driving from gig to gig. It's been wearing down on me, so I decided to pack it in. Judging by your name and your nose, I'm guessing you are the Jewish extraction. I am too. I'm thinking of using the skills from my comedy career and becoming a rabbi. Would you know any good rabbi schools in Salt Lake City area? Also, do you think that a temple would want a funny rabbi? When I pray to God, will he take my prayers seriously? Lastly, in your opinion, what attributes should someone have to become a successful rabbi? Signed, may God bless you, Sid Green. Very good, Sid. Well, here goes, Sid. First of all, just like an artist or a musician, you need imagination to be a rabbi. Also, you gotta suspend your disbelief, because you gotta tell people like where God is, what's he thinking, what's he doing. See, I'll give you an example. If I'm walking down the street, I run into someone I haven't seen in a long time. And if I say, how you doing? He says to me, oh, I got bad news, my father passed away. But he's with my mother now up in heaven. So he's very happy. Now, I don't say to him, well, you know, I heard your father had a girlfriend all these years. Maybe he's with his girlfriend up in heaven. I don't say that. I say, oh, terrible, but it's good he's in a better place. So to be a good rabbi, you got to come up with stuff like that. All right? Here's a little rabbi priest joke. This is on the subject of religion. Years ago in Brooklyn, there's a church on one side of the street. There's a synagogue on the other side of the street. But the priest and the rabbi have really nothing to do with each other. So one day, it was actually a Thursday, the priest sees the rabbi walking down the street, and he goes to introduce himself. So the rabbi says to the priest, Father, how about tomorrow, Friday afternoon, I take you to a good Jewish restaurant around the block. We have a good Jewish meal, like good Jewish soul food. So the next day, the priest and the rabbi, they go to his favorite deli. They sit down to eat. The waiter comes over, and the rabbi says, I'll do the ordering. My friend and I want a bowl of matzo ball soup and a pastrami sandwich. So eat the matzo ball soup, pastrami sandwich. The priest loves it. He loves it. So every Friday for months, the priest and the rabbi went to this dairy restaurant had the same meal, matzo ball soup and a pastrami sandwich. But one day the rabbi doesn't show up. So the priest figures, I might as well go by myself. They know me, I know, I feel comfortable enough going there. So he goes to the restaurant, he sits down, the waiter comes over and says, what would you like? He says, give me the usual, matzo ball soup and a pastrami sandwich. So the waiter says, well, I have bad news for you. We're out of matzo balls. So the priest says, well, can you suggest another part of the matzah? Good one, right? Oh, man. All right. Also, I want you to know, can you come here for a second? Come here, Laura. This is interesting. This is Christopher Street, right? Christopher Street. You see how wide it is? If you look down to the right, that's the Hudson River down there. See? Across the Hudson River, that's Hoboken, New Jersey. Years ago, they used to float railroad cars across from the Hudson. They would hook up here at Christopher Street and go up the street there. So this used to be trolley cars and freight cars used to ride in. That's why this end of Christopher Street is so wide. The other end of Christopher Street, that's where the Stonewall Inn is, Sheridan Square. But that's why this part is so wide. Fascinating, right? Just fascinating. My knowledge is unbelievable. Breathtaking. Breathtaking. All right. What you waiting for? A new poem. This is not a haiku. It's not a beat poem. Listen, I did a beat poem. I don't think you can put this poem in a category. But once you hear it, it might affect your life. This is one of those poems that really touched me, and I hope it touches you. All right. The name of the poem is Smoked Pork Neck Bones. Price of onions in New Jersey. Man walks on the moon. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Pope can't dance. No, he can't. No, he can't. Viruses die someday. But when? But when? Is there ice in Iceland? I don't know. I don't know. That's poetry. That's poetry. Some of you may not get it because not everyone's an intellect, but the ones who do, right here. All right, I think it's time to put the mask on. Been out here long enough, exposed to I don't want to get exposed to the virus. We're still in the middle of the pandemic, you know. June 30th. All right, I'm out of here.